This is Capital Games. I am the Wiz. Today, I thought I would try something new that I've been wanting to do for like the past few months. Today, I'm going to talk about brands and series and types of games that have been getting short shrift or haven't been given new types of games for a long time now, and whether it would be a good idea for the companies that own those brands to go ahead and revive, resuscitate, or just return those brands to prominence in the current year and in the current industry right now. Today, I want to talk about a game that is from Koei Tecmo that started all the way back at the NES in 1988. This game was once a 2D platformer that was synonymous with its difficulty, but also its cinematic flair and style that they had when it first came out. From that point, it went from being a 2D side-scroller with a lot of difficulty to a 3D action game with a very robust combat system with a high amount of difficulty and a lot to learn in the game. And that series is called Ninja Gaiden. The last game that came out with Ninja Gaiden, technically, was the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, which is a re-release, a remaster of Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 Sigma and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge for the Xbox One and PS4. That was the last release from Ninja Gaiden. The last new game from Ninja Gaiden is all the way from 2014 called Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, which I played this. This was bad. This was a very bad game. And it was lambasted by critics and people who actually played the game. It was really a bad title. So we haven't had a new Ninja Gaiden game since Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z. Why is it that we haven't had a new Ninja Gaiden? I'm going to speculate a couple of things are happening. One, Ninja Gaiden was not incredibly popular in the NES, but it was beloved. And when Tecmo and Koei Tecmo decided that they wanted to bring a series back to a certain extent, they hired a guy named Tomonobu Itagaki to develop a game for them, and Tomonobu Itagaki decided for Ninja Gaiden. He developed the Xbox version of Ninja Gaiden to be released from March 2004, and it got a critical acclaim and a lot of sales from when it was released at that point in time. So this was a very beloved, very well-liked game. And then after that was released, a year later, they released Ninja Gaiden Black, which is an updated version of the Ninja Gaiden game. Again, giving the game more sales. Which then, of course, in 2 years, they remade again into Ninja Gaiden Sigma in 2007. After a DS version called Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, they then released Ninja Gaiden 2, which actually sold really well, but wasn't as beloved as the first one. Some people really liked some of the combat, others didn't like the camera angle, but it sold very well at the time, which gave more sales to that game. At this point, Itagaki left to develop his own studio, which then led to the development of Ninja Gaiden 3, which came out in 2012 that didn't do so well critically and sales-wise. And then after that happened, they re-released it again with Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, and then Yaiba was developed, and the series has been on life support ever since. So it went from a different types of crests. It went from a beloved NES game to then reaching the heights on the Xbox and Xbox 360 with Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2, then all the way crashing right down from 3 and then Yaiba at this point. It's not like they haven't been using the brand for Ninja Gaiden the entire time that they've been mothballing it. Ryu Hayabusa, who is the main character in Ninja Gaiden, is in other games a lot. Most of all, he is in the Dead or Alive games as a playable fighter in that game. So if you like the character of Ryu Hayabusa, he is in those games specifically. So I guess the question that needs to be asked Is Ninja Gaiden a game series that could be continued upon and get success in the times right now? And my answer is maybe. Maybe it can. Especially with games that are highly difficult. With games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, The Surge, Lords of the Fallen, really difficult games that people are seeking out in order to enjoy and have a good time with. I think a difficult game like Ninja Gaiden could actually work in the marketplace if done correctly. But that's the key thing, is if it's done correctly. If it's not done correctly, they end up being an absolute mess to actually sit through. The developers of Ninja Gaiden is Team Ninja. They were founded by Tomono Itagaki, and he is, again, no longer at Team Ninja. He's got his own thing. It's called Valhalla Studios is where he's at. It's not like Team Ninja has had some bad games in the past since he left. Since he left, they've also developed the Neo games and Wulong Fallen Dynasty. So it's not like that this team crumbled when Itagaki left. It's just that they've been doing something different as time goes on. And they're also working on Rise of the Ronin, which is due out to come sometime next year in 2024, I believe. So this is not a team that has fallen favor. They still are doing very good action-adventure game when it comes to that. So would it be a good idea for Team Ninja to go back to the Ninja Gaiden series? I think Team Ninja is in an interesting direction right now, and maybe it would not be such a great idea for them to then go back to what made them popular, which is Ninja Gaiden, when they're doing these other games that are getting a lot of acclaim and having good sales and some fans that are enjoying it. So that might not be a great idea for Team Ninja, then all of a sudden scrap all their other plans and do a Ninja Gaiden game. There was a report in November that a Ninja Gaiden reboot was being made, but Team Ninja then denied it about a month later that they were doing a reboot on either Ninja Gaiden or Dead or Alive. That was kind of squashed by the head of Team Ninja at the time. What about Ninja Gaiden for Tecmo? Koei Tecmo does have other brands that does very well for them. We're, of course, talking about Dynasty Warriors and the Musou developers. They just did Wild Hearts. And there's other things they can do with Ninja Gaiden. What could they do with Ninja Gaiden specifically that would help the studio? I think they should start farming out that brand, but not for the 3D version. I think they should do a throwback to the 2D version. Hire a studio that specializes in 2D retro games and do a throwback from the old NES games that will get people interested in the brand again. I think that might be the best thing they can do at this point with Ninja Gaiden. And while Team Ninja is working on Rise of the Ronin, and they're probably going to work on another game like that as well after that's done. I don't think that Team Ninja is going to go back to doing Ninja Gaiden at any point in time. But at this point, it might be a good idea if Ninja and Koei Tecmo just hire somebody and not gives them the brand, but lets them borrow the brand to make a new Ninja Gaiden game to see what the thirst of the gaming landscape is for this type of game. Because they may come to find that even though that Ninja Gaiden is a beloved series and a beloved game from Xbox that people loved, that people aren't asking for it anymore. Even though, personally, I do like the Ninja Gaiden game. I thought Ninja Gaiden for Xbox was the best Xbox game released for that system, period. It was an excellent game. You may come to find that that type of game has evolved into something different, and that people may not be looking for a Ninja Gaiden style game anymore. But to see if the brand is still worth it and is worth going through, I think getting a small to medium-sized developer to do a 2D throwback might be in their best interest, just to see how it turns out and to see what comes of it. At least at this point on here. Koei Tecmo has other brands too that they have. This may not be something that they are going to want to do at this point. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But because they also have the Atelier series, specifically Atelier Rise that's coming out right now. They just released a new Fatal Frame. They have other brands that they can start doing and everything to get their sales pumping even more. But at this point, I mean, it wouldn't be such a great idea to remind people that Ninja Gaiden is a series that, one, exists, and two, has a devoted fan base that would like to have more. I just think I wouldn't spend hundreds of millions of dollars doing a 3D version. I would do a 2D version. I would get a throwback from the old NES times, and maybe marry some of the stuff that happened that you can use from the Xbox version and the 3D versions to see how that works. And just get a very well-respected developer and just do a good deal where they will develop a Ninja Gaiden game for you. And that way you can have Team Ninja doing their thing, and you can have this developer doing this Ninja Gaiden game, and maybe they can resuscitate the brand from there on. I do not think at this point people are clamoring for a 3D version, but if you go back and make it 2D, I think you get more people interested in the brand. So my final thoughts on this. Ninja Gaiden is a brand that unfortunately is pretty damaged and hasn't had a new game since 2014, or a game that people have liked since about 2012 at this point, I think. Let me check here. When was the last game that I think got good reviews? Now, the last game that got good reviews was 2009, or was really liked, was Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2009. 3 did not do so hot either with critics or with gamers. So this is a brand that I guess to a certain extent is kind of damaged, but can be easily resuscitated just by reminding people of how great the first Ninja Gaiden was. And they've done the Master Collections and re-released it in other on updated consoles, which is fine, but in order to really gauge whether the brand is still running hot and doing very well and can produce more games that make more money, I think playing it safe first and doing a 2D version that reminds people of the NES days would be a better idea. Why not get a group like Tribute to actually do it, the ones who made Shredder's Revenge? That might not be such a bad idea. That is it for this episode of Capital Games. A little bit of a programming note. I am doing a Capital Games movie club on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is with Zero. We are doing a review of Tenet. And then on Wednesday, I'm doing one with Kim. We're doing That Thing You Do. So there's not going to be a new episode of Capital Games until Thursday, and when that comes on Thursday, I'll be talking about what I think the sales expectation is going to be when it comes to Resident Evil 4 Remake. So that's going to be an interesting thing that we're going to be discussing. I'm going to be discussing. So if you have questions or things that you want me to answer, go right ahead and leave a comment on the video, and I'll be sure to do that. Well, anyway, that is it for Capital Games. I am The Wiz. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.